Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Midwest Plainsman on the Prairie Radio Network. And this afternoon or this evening, I am joined by my special guest, Wally Bartfay from uh, Canada. Give me the name of your town again.
Yeah, it's Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. So it's about 40-minute drive east of Toronto. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
just on the Lake Ontario, up in that area. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, Wally got recommended to me from my previous guest, Caden Gordon, who is a uh, promoter. He is a he's doing radio like what I'm doing. He's doing the DJ work like what I do. So it's been a real pleasure being able to get referenced by him to these independent artists who've been so kind enough to join me on the podcast here. So, Wally, thanks for coming to join me. Do appreciate
my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
You're welcome. So now I know that you were a former college professor and dean of local college up there.
Yeah, it's actually associate dean, but it's called Ontario Tech University. It's in Oshawa, and I was director of various programs, undergraduate, graduate programs, and I was also associate dean. And for a long time, I moved here in 2005, and previously I was teaching at the University of Windsor and Queen's University out in Kingston. So I came here in 2005 and officially retired in August of 2024. But I still been, doing some research related to music and medicine and writing music and so forth. So it's been a big part of my life growing up as well. But that's a little bit of background there. Yeah.
Very cool. And you're also affectionately known as a rockin' prof.
Yeah.
By students.
Yeah. Well, there's a little story behind that because, especially with first year students, when you have 100, 150 students in class, it's hard to break the ice with them. So I would typically, would come in jeans, boots, the hat, the Stetton, and bring the guitar, open it up, and I would play a song. And people would say, "What's this guy doing?" And then I would tell a story. That my dad developed vascular dementia, and I got interested in, or I rediscovered music. I played music for many, many years in my youth, and I rediscovered it. And I used music because he suffered from BPSDs, behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia, like aggression and hallucinations and agitation and so forth. And music would calm him down when I would sing some of his old folk tunes that we used to sing around a campfire up in the cottage. And that's how I got into using music as medicine. And I would give a lecture about, let's say it was neurological disorders, and dementia was one of them. So there was a nice segue into the lecture or something. So somebody started this rockin' prof thing, and it kind of stuck.
Well, it's always been known that music is beneficial to not only behavioral health, but also to your overall health as well.
Yeah, well, if you look back, and I have done a lot of research into the history of medicine and music, and if you look back even at the ancient Greeks, for example, Apollo was of course, the god of sun, and he was the god of medicine, and also the god of music. And there was, and they believed that that music could help promote healing and promote sleep and decrease anxiety in ancient Greek times. If we look at ancient Chinese character for music and happiness, they're identical. It's about 2,000-year-old character. They're identical. And then when you put a line on top with two vertical lines on top, that's a symbol for medicine. So the symbol for music, happiness, and medicine in ancient Chinese always go together as well. And there's many cultures around the world use chanting, singing, repetitive drumming for healing purposes, decreasing pain and what have you. But we were making music for a long time. One of our, archaeologists, for example, in ancient Slovakia, they found in a cave called the Witch's Cave.
Mm-hmm.
They found the very first, and it has holes drilled in it. It's in fact 40 to 60,000 years old, and it's a flute. So they were Neanderthals, cavemen were making music in 40 to 60,000 years ago, and now we're getting into a little bit of more research. If you just talk about dementia, for example, if you take someone's brain at rest, there isn't much that lights up on the screen. The colors light up when the brain is active. And when you play a similar music they're familiar with, that patients enjoy, it could be jazz, it could be rock, it could be country, it could be classical, whatever they remember as or enjoyed. It lights up like a Christmas tree, the CT scan. So it stimulates things like the temporal lobe and the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, the cerebral cortex, the limbic systems. Everything starts firing. And I had an opportunity here when I was associate dean. There was a hospital called Ontario Shore Centre for Mental Health Sciences, and we set up this program to look for non-pharmacological interventions to help patients with dementia. Instead of giving them medications and keeping them basically in a drowsy state, if they are having these BPSDs, as I mentioned, behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia, like aggression and hallucinations and so forth. We tried various things, light therapy, because it helps with depression. Here in Canada, we don't get a lot of sun because we're always covered up. And if you don't have enough vitamin D, it can lead to something called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD for short. So giving light therapy was helpful for these patients. We did reminiscent therapy, where you show them old pictures and they talk about it and it brings back memories to them. But we also did music therapy with them. So we created these playlists. From family members and loved ones would give us a playlist of 20 songs that they enjoyed. And, we took these baseline measures: how often nurses had to intervene, how often they received medications, what was the nature of their BPSDs. We had a colleague from business school, Dr. Terry Wu. He did with his graduate students, did a cost-benefit analysis and something called a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, because staff cost money, right?
Right.
So we took these baseline measures, and then these outbursts occurred. And afterwards as well, we compared to baseline, and we found that these musical interventions decreased the need, for staff and BPSDs and costs and everything else, significantly. It just went right down. One of the challenges we had, though, is many patients couldn't wear headphones, because if you put something on them, if they have, they take it off and they get agitated. So we use something called parabolic speakers, which are directional speakers. So if I was to direct it at you right now, someone sitting beside you wouldn't hear the sound. So it's low cost. It's about $60 to $80 Canadian. It's not a huge expense, and it can be administered. Music therapy can be administered. But the first time I noticed the benefits of music was back in the 80s. I was working.
Okay, Wally, it looks like you froze on me.
At a hospital called the Douglas Hospital, and I was reading through her chart, and her daughter happened to be there, and she was very disconnected. She was in that, her head down, very disconnected, almost sleeping all the time. And she was sitting in a wheelchair. We wheeled her out to this common room, and there was an old stand-up piano. I have one standing over here behind me. You can't see it, but I have an old stand-up piano there too. And I put her hands on the piano, and she started to play and play and play. And she played for about an hour and a half, and we had to stop her, unfortunately, because lunch had to be served. That was the only reason we had to stop her. But it was like flipping on a light switch, Earl. Literally, from that almost catatonic state, not, totally disconnected. And when she placed her fingers on the keys, it stimulated, those old memories of music. And so music basically was like a light switch for her to turn on as well. So I became very interested in, looking at music and as a healing, some of its healing properties. There is, there's noise therapy that you may have heard of. So if you walk into your local Walmarts, for example, not that I'm endorsing Walmart, but they have these baby monitors, these white noise monitors that help babies sleep.
Okay, did not know that.
Right, so you can buy a baby monitor. My oldest son, when he was colicky many years ago, it was suggested to me to turn on the fan over the stove, the exhaust fan, which is a form of white noise. And I tried everything to get him to sleep, and then just holding him there for about 30 seconds, he fell asleep. That was white noise. But there's other types of noise. There's pink noise and brown noise, a little bit more bassy.
Yep.
It can help with the ADHD. It can help with sleep disorders. There's also something called gray noise that can help with tinnitus. That means ringing in the ears, and other forms of therapy, like binaural beat therapy is another one, where you have, let's say in one ear you have coming through on the headphones here 310 hertz frequency and 300 in the other one. The difference between 310 and 300 is 10 hertz. We don't hear 10 hertz. We only hear from 20 to about 20,000 hertz on average. So it creates this auditory hallucination. But this binaural beat played over time can synchronize with certain brain waves. And so it can alter brain activity and levels of arousal. And there is some preliminary evidence for this binaural beat therapy. It can decrease stress and anxiety. It can alter even insulin levels for diabetics. It can increase dopamine levels, which has some possible clinical implications.
Nice.
For disorders like Parkinson's disease, even acid reflux disease in the stomach. It's been shown to help with that as well. So there's a lot of things that we don't know that we're just learning about, which is really interesting. Our universe, for example, has a certain frequency. It's 432 hertz. So when we listen to things in that range, it's very soothing. There's have you heard of the concert pitch? The concert pitch is 440 as a kind of this gold standard since 1939, which is basically instruments tuned to A4, on the piano, the middle C on the piano, first A above the piano there. That's 440. But they did some studies now where if you listen to an orchestra and you listen to a piece of music and you look at these biomedical markers, blood pressure, anxiety, stress, personal satisfaction with the concert, those that are tuned at 440, they have higher levels of stress and everything. They didn't enjoy the concert as well. But if you tune it down to 432, which is in tune with the cosmos, our universe, they enjoy it more. And they have, these biological responses.
Interesting. That's something I never really knew.
As well, that we can measure now. The Earth has a resonance too. It's 7.83 hertz, called Schumann's hertz resonance. So these are just something we're just starting to explore. and we know so little about them. You may have heard in physics something called string theory or M theory.
Oh yeah.
So there's these, they look like little strings. Some of them are open, some of them are closed, but everything in the universe basically vibrates at a certain frequency. So we can use vibrations now, to kill cancer cells. There's a study by Zimmerman, for example, 2013, look at cancer cells from 100 to 300,000 hertz. You can kill leukemia cells can be shattered. So using noise, if you want to call it noise, or sounds and music, we're just really in its infancy starting to look some of its medical applications now. So that's something that I'm continuing to be interested in and exploring. Even though I'm retired and so forth, that's something that I continue to research and so forth. Yeah.
Well, there's something new that I'm definitely learning about. Because I know that when I've participated in drum circles, that once I get started, man, I'm off in my own little world. That's how it affects me anyway. Because I know that it affects people in different ways. But I've definitely known that music can play a huge part in medical treatment. I know there's a lot of different scientific studies and whatnot. And I know there's still a lot more for me to learn, but because I've spent my time working out in the field as an emergency medical tech. So, and with what I'm doing now with music, there's definitely a correlation between the two. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, in medicine too, you may have heard of something called auditory anesthesia, where dentists may use it, or even in certain operating rooms, where if you play music, you can decrease the amount of anesthesia that's needed because it calms the patient down with certain sounds or certain types of music. So we don't have to give so much anesthesia. So there is some very interesting research being done out there. Yeah. So when someone's really stressed and you go for a road trip, like you said, you're out on the road, and a certain song comes on, it just brings back some memories and calms you down, or and so forth, makes you feel good. Yeah.
And I know some surgeons have a really. I don't know. They've got some wild playlists. I know that. All right. Tell you what, let's get to some of your videos that we were talking about earlier. Now, we're going to start off with You're My Beautiful. And I know this is a love song that you wrote for your wife.
Correct. Yeah.
What brought this one about?
Yeah, this one was kind of this. It was a birthday song and also a 10th year anniversary as a breast cancer survivor, and I wanted to give something special. So I got working with Stephen Wrench, and Stephen Wrench is really well known in the music circles. 6-time Grammy, did lots of platinum and gold albums, and he had this beautiful instrumental. And he did the instrumental, and I together we came with this production. You're My Beautiful hit #1 on both the Euro Indie Network music chart lists, and it was also #1 last year in the World Indie music chart list. So it was a wonderful production, and it means a lot to me. This song, on many levels, yeah.
All right, well, let's get right into it.
Beautiful reason I live and told. You're the wind in my sail. You're the fire that makes me live. Still waters run deep. Like your unconditional love for me. You love me for who I am. All my scars and wounds you understand. I want to spend every moment with you. Time stands still when I'm with you. See the stars late at night. Sit by the fire and hold you tight. I wanna walk on the beach with you. Kiss your sweet lips but make love to you. Beautiful. You're my beautiful. You're beautiful to me. Beautiful. You're my beautiful. Beautiful, you're beautiful to me. Beautiful, you're my beautiful. Oh, beautiful to me. Beautiful, you're my beautiful. Beautiful, you're beautiful to me.
That is a really good song, Wally.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mentioned on the violin too. It was Molly Cherry Holmes. Molly Cherry Holmes is an excellent performer and violinist, and she's a Grammy nominated for Grammys as well. So I just wanted to put it out there too. So yeah, she did a really nice job on that. Yeah, and Stephen Wrench was on doing the guitar play for that. So
Very cool. Okay, let's get into the second one here. We were talking about Little Sunshine Girl.
yeah, a fun song. It tells us.
What's the story behind this one?
Yeah, this one tells a story. Guy from South Carolina goes down to the Florida Keys. Drives down. Spends the day on the beach with the most beautiful girl, the most perfect day, from sunrise to sundown. And if he can just relive that day over and over again to freeze time, that's what he would, just be there with that little sunshine girl who enjoys playing in the water. And, it's a real fun song. It went to number 2 on the Euro Indie Network and number 1 on the World Indie music chart list, top 100 list. It went to number 1 as well. So number 1 and 2 for that one. Anyways, it's a fun song. It has a little bit of a Caribbean vibe at the beginning. You'll hear some steel drums as well, kind of give it that beach feel and that tropical feel. So I hope you enjoy.
All right. Well, get right into a Little Sunshine Girl.
Down to the Florida Keys to catch a little ocean breeze. I'm driving down from the Georgia line. Just picked up a bottle of sweet red wine. Watching
I'm losing my hearing here. It's froze. I don't know if it froze. Yeah, I don't know if it froze. Yeah. Back on.
The sun sinks into the ocean. There's so much emotion. Watching the sun disappear as we're down under the cold beer. Last ones on the beach. You're sweeter than a Georgia peach. Sun on ice. I want a big slice. Oh, my little sunshine girl, you've got my head in a whirl. You're a shell inside a pearl. You're my little sunshine girl. You're my little sunshine girl. Like a bottle, you're my Gina. Out you come in your little bikini. You're my little sunshine girl.
Yeah, that one definitely goes very well with that first one that we just got done playing.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah.
So let's see now. Are you doing any performances locally?
I do some. I recently just did some charity work for autism in the UK, just through the internet. Here, I'm not doing any quote live performances per se right now, but I have played in nursing homes and veteran homes and things for a long time. So mostly in a charity sense and in a hospital setting, of course, for patients. But a little background: when I was about 10 or so, that's when I started to do public performances with my sister Kathy and my cousin Irene Bellin, and we would play in this. I lived in a small town called Chateauguay, Quebec. It was and there was a nursing home there with a lot of veterans and seniors, and we put on Christmas concerts. And my mom and aunts would, bake pies and cookies and everything for the Christmas. It's we enjoy doing that, giving back to our community. And it's ironic that my father, many years later, he had a series of strokes, and of course, with his dementia, ended up in that very same nursing home that I used to put on Christmas concerts. So there's a big circle of life there. So, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Now, we've got one more we're going to get to here that I had to go searching for. But now, this one is the song to say goodbye, girl.
Yeah, I wrote this song to say goodbye, girl. Yeah, this week. It's number 4 on the Euro Indie music chart list. So it broke into the top 10. It's number 4, and also top 10 in the World Indie music chart list. So doing quite well, and it's still climbing. So I hope it continues upwards, and maybe I'll get a number 1 or 2 out of this one as well. Hopefully, yeah.
Very cool. Now, what was the story behind this one?
Yeah, this is an old. Sometimes you get into some relationships that don't actually work out in life. And many of us are moving up in those years, and over the years we've had relationships that doesn't always work out. And this tells a story of a guy who's breaking up with his girlfriend, and instead of just telling her, we're done and so forth, because he finds that she's been cheating behind his back. He finds it on text messages on his phone, and so he decides to write a song, pack up his truck, and just leave the next morning. Just, here's a song for you, and I wrote this song to say goodbye, girl, instead of texting her or saying it. So he says goodbye in the form of a song. It's
Okay,
very
now
poetic justice, if you want. Yeah.
this one has this one would be classified for country music, man. Like kind of story.
Yeah. And whiskey. There's whiskey in there too.
All right, cool.
I wrote this song to say goodbye, girl. Knew you since you were a teenage pearl. You've taken me down this rocky road. I know it started some months ago. Now there's no turning back. I've got to get my life back on track. I've given you all of my heart, but you decided to tear it apart. Friends tell me now it's time to depart. I'm done giving, I need to start living. There's no more forgiving. It's time for some freestyle living. Wrote this song to say goodbye, girl. Knew you since you were a teenage pearl. We had some good times, that's true, but seeing you only gives me the blues. I'm all done thinking. Now I'm going serious drinking. My heart has been rethinking. Tomorrow I'm packing up my truck, heading out to find some better luck. Wrote this song to say goodbye, girl. Knew you since you were a teenage pearl. We've been going down this garden path. Now our time together is like a bloodbath. Text messages on your phone tells me you're not all alone. You've been cheating behind my back. I feel my love for you has been hijacked. If you wanna stay with that guy, all I have to say is bye-bye. I wrote this song to say goodbye, girl. You put my head in a whirl. Wrote this song to say goodbye, girl. Knew you since you were a teenage pearl. We had some good times, that's true, but seeing you only gives me the blues. I'm all done thinking. Now I'm going serious drinking. My heart has been rethinking. Tomorrow I'm packing up my truck, heading out to find some better luck. Wrote this song to say goodbye, girl.
I pretty much hit the nail right on the head with this one. that definitely had a country music feel to it. I called it.
I do country rock, so it's a combination. I call myself a kind of a hybrid, a little bit of rock, a little bit of country, but mostly country, so like that. But
Yep.
kind of like that Eric Church, kind of always have a little bit of country rock, or Luke Combs had a little bit of country rock, a little bit. So those are some influences.
Like I said, I pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one. Yeah. Like it. Well, I know that your music is going to fit very well with the radio station I'm on with Native Family, because they will definitely enjoy it over there. I know that.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And the nice thing about country music, it always tells wonderful stories.
Oh yeah,
there's all types of music out there, but country music, it's still clean. They don't degrade women. We still have family values. We talk about the struggles in life, and we tell beautiful stories in country music. That's why I love country music since I was a kid. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Every song that I listen to that has a story to it and is original, that's what hits home with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you make that connection with other people, when you put out your music out there, and it's a little bit more difficult as an indie artist. If we don't have those big promoters behind us, and when we make a connection, it's wonderful. I during my college years, I used to play in coffee houses with a buddy of mine, Danny Arson, who unfortunately passed away. But we would play in Montreal, various coffee houses and what have you, just for tips or a free meal, or just to impress some pretty girl in the audience. And when you made that connection with certain songs, and some of them are original songs that I would sing, put out some original songs. When you saw that somebody connected with your song that you wrote, really gets you here. Really gets you. You can't put a price tag on that.
No, you can't.
It's priceless. It's priceless. Yeah, because you made an emotional connection. There's something spiritual there. That you can't describe, and that's what I love to do is make that spiritual connection with others through my music. Hopefully.
Yep, that's what I hear from a lot of artists, that they will have at least one or two really good hits that will resonate with somebody that's listening. And when they get the feedback from those people that, hey, your music really hit home and resonated with me, I mean, that's basically what artists love to hear. I mean, that's what they love.
Yeah, I'm working on a new song right now. I'm just doing a music video, and it's my first music video that's going to be using AI generated images. It's going to be with Stephen Wrench. It's called Ripples of Time, and hopefully release it in the next couple of weeks. But it tells the story of Hollywood. Kind of the setting is 1960s, and I was reading about lots of actresses and actors and celebrities who've taken their lives, unfortunately, over the years. Due to the pressures of being young. So this Ripples of Time tells a story about a young actress, Walk of Fame, star Walk of Famer, Hollywood Walk of Famer. As she grows older, she becomes more and more dependent on wine, and unfortunately decides to end her life, like many celebrities. So it's kind of a little bit of a dark subject. But the instrumentation, it's very orchestrated. It's a very beautiful song. It's very touching, and it hopefully sends a message that we overemphasize youth, and we devalue someone when they're starting to age. Women especially are subject to this, the insanity that goes on through plastic surgeries and everything that is happening. Instead of embracing their age, so that's the message. So hopefully we'll have that out in hopefully 2 weeks or so. Yeah. So look for Ripples of Time.
Very cool. Okay, so for people to find you and be able to listen to your music, I know you've got your YouTube page, you've got Spotify, you've also got the Facebook page, which I'm going to be posting up here in just a minute. Now, where else can people go to
Yeah,
find you?
Twitter, X. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on Vivo music videos, not only on YouTube, but it's on Vivo as well. If you punch in Bartfay music, just punch in those two words, and all types of things pop up, and you'll see some of my publications too related to music therapy
Oh,
that
okay.
I've done with patients with dementia as well. In scientific journals as well. But you just punch in Bartfay, Wally Bartfay if you want, or just Bartfay music, and all types of things will pop up there. So.
Okay, very good. Now there's your Facebook page, so people can find you that way. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to hearing the new release that you've got coming out. So definitely gonna be interested in that, and we'll have to get caught up once you've got that done and released out. So yeah, we'll have more to come with you.
All right, and check out my music when you get a chance, and lots of great country songs there. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out to come join me. This has been really informative. In fact, you taught me some stuff that I did not know. So I'm really happy about that as well.
Well, it's been my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me as your guest. Yeah.
You're very welcome there, Wally. And you've been listening to another edition of the Midwest Plainsman on the Prairie Land Radio Network. With Wally Bartfay from Canada, and I do appreciate getting to talk with him this evening. If you have questions for me directly, email me at themidwestplainsman@gmail.com. If you have ideas for other artists to appear here on the Midwest Plainsman, feel free to send those over to me. And as always, if you like what you're seeing here, be sure to help support what we're doing by donating over to the Venmo account for Nightwolf DJ, and you'll be able to help keep things going here, and I'll be able to keep presenting a lot more great stuff for you. So with that being said, I'm going to say pleasant journeys, everyone. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and we're going to have more coming up next week right here at the Midwest Plainsman. Have a good night. We're going to be out of here for the night. Thank you for tuning in to the Midwest Plainsman. All shows are available for download at the end of each live broadcast. All rights are reserved and may not be reproduced without the express written consent from the Midwest Plainsman, Prairie Land Radio Network, and Earl Williams. Be sure to join up with our Facebook page and group, and also our YouTube channel. That way you can keep up to date with what's happening right here at the Midwest Plainsman. Pleasant